Hi guys, welcome to our news portion of our channel where we're just going to kind of talk about what's going on in Hollywood and the world of movies, kind of give you guys updates and give you our thoughts about everything that's happening. My name's Adam, this is Emily, and today we're going to talk about a lot of movies being pushed out of their current release dates. How a lot of studios are pushing back their movies and what that can mean for the future of movie-going, of theaters just in general. If you look at something like Sony, just a couple days ago, pushed back their entire release slate. Sorry, I gotta get my notes out here. But you're looking at big movies like Ghostbusters, Afterlife, something a lot of people are looking forward to. Just moved from July 10th to March 5th of next year. That's not a simple push of like 2 months hoping things clear up. That's an 8-month push. Then you got Morbius, who people are just confused by, but kind of intrigued by. Again, moving from July 31st to March 19th of next year. Another 8-month push. Or Peter Rabbit 2 moves from August this year to January. A little bit less of a push, but still pretty significant. So, is that, is that the smart move for them? We're looking at something 4 months away from now still, and they're pushing it already because they don't know the state of the world, theaters in the world at that time. Is that smart?
Well, it's not only... I do believe it's smart because everything that was due to release now, they're the ones going to be releasing when those were initially going to release. Say the world is, out of quarantine and everything like that. Everything now, they're being pushed back already, so they're staking claim in that time frame, like, this is when this is going to come out. I'm getting people ready for it now, but they're not having to go against everything that was slated to release just now.
I guess, but, Sony's not the only one moving things. Warner Brothers announced that they're going to be moving a whole bunch of stuff, too, like Fast 9, which, that's a huge franchise worldwide, makes billions of dollars each time, but they're moving it completely into May 2021 as well. So, yeah, you're not going to compete with something coming out that already got pushed, but now you're going to be competing with other movies that are getting pushed as well. Like, Fast 9, Black Widow, all those other movies are also being pushed about that same time frame. So are we crowding the market then?
You're gonna be, no matter what, unless you push them back like 2022, you're really gonna have everything that was scheduled to come out in these upcoming months, everything's gonna be crammed into some time. We're gonna be almost oversaturated with big movies that were coming out. I'm almost afraid for the littler movies, the ones that are not main franchises that might be swept under the rug because there's no more space in the theaters for them. They don't have the money to back it and be like, hey, no, push my movie. It could be the most fantastic movie, but no one's going to be able to see it because we have Black Widow going against, all the other big summer blockbusters that were supposed to come out in summer.
Yeah, I agree. I think at the end of the day, we're looking at just a massive amount of movies coming out in a very short amount of time. Because all the movies that are supposed to come out now, they're pushing back to, ones that were supposed to come out in April are pushing back to June. Ones that were supposed to come out in February are even pushing back to the summer as well, or even later than that. So the more and more we're pushing stuff back, we're eventually going to get to a point where 8 big blockbuster hit movies are going to be coming out on the same weekend, and it's just going to be overcrowded, and I'm not sure how well that's going to go, because even Disney just this morning released that they're pushing back a whole bunch of stuff too. Black Widow was just supposed to come out on May 1st, got pushed back to November 6th, which used to belong to Marvel's Eternals, which now is going to be pushed back to February 12th of next year, which also pushed back Shang-Chi, like, all of Marvel's getting pushed back basically at this point. And then another one was 20th Century's Free Guy starring Ryan Reynolds. Got pushed from July 3rd to December 11th. So another 5-month move. Steven Spielberg's West Side Story was supposed to release December of this year. They've actually already moved that back to unknown right now. That's just something they pulled off the slate completely. And Mulan. This is one that was like expected to do really good business. Like people were excited for this one. Also just got moved. Finally. I know everybody's been kind of waiting on that one because it's supposed to be releasing sometime this month. But it just got moved till July 24th. So if we match that up with Wonder Woman, which was supposed to be opening also in June, just got pushed to August. So if you have Mulan opening up here in July 30th, the end of July, and then you have Wonder Woman opening up August, that's a clash right there that they're not supposed to be having. Because Wonder Woman's not supposed to come out till June, and Mulan's supposed to be coming out right about now. Yeah. So now you're butting heads with a movie you didn't expect to butt heads with. Where's people's money going to go?
Well, the problem is that you're not taking into account of the fact that everyone is cooped up inside right now. I mean, you see it anywhere you go. There's people just, they want to be outside. They want to be out and doing things. So I think there's going to be a massive wave going to the theaters once everything is, said and done, because they just want to be out of the house. They want that entertainment. They're still going to have that need for that entertainment. They're just going to want to go and have the experience of being out of the house and being at a theater to do so.
I agree, but we're talking about opening weekends. That's always where you're going to make the most amount of money in your movie, is the opening weekend. But if you have 4 movies opening that weekend, I'm sorry, there's just not enough time in a weekend to go see all of them. So your money's going to have to go, this is where I think a lot of theaters are going to start seeing brand loyalty. If I'm up against another major studio film and I don't make a lot of money, do I have to readjust what I'm thinking when it comes to my movies? Because clearly I'm not going to win the market against other things. Maybe I only make money because I'm the only thing coming out at the time.
I mean, that goes back to my point of being afraid for the smaller titles, is there's going to be so much going on that we're not going to see those smaller titles. We're only going to stick with the Marvel and, those main brands that we already know we like. We're going to go and see those instead of trying our luck on something like almost the Jojo Rabbit. I mean, I know it's the second one, but going out and seeing those small little independent titles like Onward that just came out on Disney Plus, people are not going to be willing to spend their money on that, maybe it might be good, maybe not. I mean, Onward had the luck of being a Disney film, but it was not a story that we know. Whereas Mulan and Wonder Woman are both stories that we know.
Yeah. I mean, I agree, but we're clearly seeing a lot of these movies are moving back kind of far. Other than Wonder Woman, which surprises me. It's only moving from June to August. I don't know if that's big enough of a move for that movie, because that's a little optimistic. Even with Mulan moving to the end of July, it's a little optimistic for these studios to think we're going to be out of everything. We're going to be out and open. Everything's kind of going to be back to normal at that time. It might be a little too optimistic. But if we are, those movies are going to succeed really well, because there's not going to be a lot of other movies. But, you bring up an interesting point when it comes to independent film, because I'm actually looking at it a different way. What if we get to come out of quarantine and all the studios push their big movies back? Like, the Black Widows, the Fast and Furiouses, the pretty much all of Marvel, all of Sony, all of WB, they're pushing everything back to end of this year or next year. What if come June, we're allowed to go back to theaters? Theaters are opening again and they're trying to play movies. What are they going to play? Everything's moved out of those slots now.
Yeah. Well, I think most of what I feel like, not only are studios pushing movies back just in case of quarantine, but it's also them just being able to finish the movie, because not only are they not able to film, they're not able to go into offices and edit, so these big budget films, they're not able to go in and be able to work on them. So I think it's either going to be those small independent films that are small enough that they're able to just work on it from home or do anything like that. Those might be able to go out, or if they're close enough to completion, I think the big studios are going to be like, nope.
They're just going to rush it and kind of move back up their slate?
Yeah, because if it's already done, like Mulan was probably so close to already being done.
Mulan was supposed to come out
soon. Might as well be like, nope. we're, a couple weeks in advance, be like, nope, we're gonna.
Do you know how hard that is to move movies just on a whim like that? I mean, why do you think Mulan takes so long to even push back? Because there's so much behind the scenes that has to happen to do that. So I don't know if they could just, theaters are open back up at the end of May, so move our movie up. Put it in there now.
Yeah.
That's going to take a lot of work. I'm worried that theaters are going to struggle really hard right now. Yeah, they're going to have a lot of independent films, but who goes and sees independent films other than your die-hard movie lovers? My mom's not going to see an independent film.
I mean, she might, though, now that we're out of quarantine. Everyone's already stir-crazy, and it's only been a couple of weeks.
Maybe they see a big boom, maybe they don't. I mean, I can't wait to see what happens, because I love the theater experience. I love the big screen, I love the sound, I love everything, hence all my tickets over here. I see everything in theaters that I can, but I'm worried that this is what's going to kill the theater experience. I feel like, it's already been on a little bit of a decline, other than with the big Marvel movies and Star Wars and those that are really going to grab people and bring them out to theaters. But overall, the theaters are seeing a decrease in attendance. And now all of a sudden people aren't going for months. Are they going to forget what it's like? Are they not going to go back? Especially when you got something, Disney just said, I don't think they had a release date here. Let me check. But, they have Artemis Fowl, which is a big budget movie that was going to get a huge theatrical run, all that stuff. They just announced in their thing today that they don't have a date on it yet of when it's going to be released, but they're putting it right onto Disney Plus. They're bypassing all of the theatrical run and just releasing it on Disney Plus. Is that a way a lot of these studios are going to go now? Because they're not sure how the theater is going to go. Let's say come July, we're still not able to go to the theater. At that point, do you just take Mulan and say, Disney Plus, go?
I don't think so. They make plenty of money in theaters. If you look at most of their at least their big titles, are going to still go into theaters because it was still making plenty of money for them to recoup their losses. They don't make that kind of money with Disney Plus being a small subscription unless they up the subscription fee, which would take people away from it. I honestly think the theaters are going to be at least decent. We've seen an upcrease of people going, especially AMC, having the AMC stubs. There's more people going now because even theaters are coming up with these almost subscription plans. So we saw more people going to the theaters already. I'm banking on the fact that people are going to be pent up after this, and then they've had so much time now to really market these movies. Everyone's really talking about these movies being pushed back, that there's going to be enough fervor to really continue the theaters.
Sure, the big movies. Your Marvels, your Black Widows, your Wonder Womans, your Fast and Furious, I understand those are probably always going to get theatrical runs. But when you have a movie like Mulan, who, there's a lot of talk about it, but it's not Beauty and the Beast. It's not Aladdin. It's not those classic films. This was a little bit of a movie at the end of the Disney Renaissance in the 90s. This isn't something highly well regarded as one of the best Disney movies of all time. And people are a little worried about the live-action remake. Now, don't get me wrong, the trailer looks amazing. I'm super stoked for it. I can't wait. But that maybe not is the general consensus out there. So do you chance pushing it off again? Because every month you delay it, it's just costing you money. It's a movie sitting on the shelf that you aren't making any money from. Where at least if you put it on Disney Plus, maybe people that weren't signed up for the service now sign up for the service to try to get that money. Or do you put it out as premium content on a streaming service where maybe you got to pay $20 to watch it, just that movie?
I'm sticking with the theaters, honestly. I think that experience is still well loved by most people. The fact that, like I said before, we've seen an uptake in tickets, people going to the theater. It's indicative of what people want to come back to. Yeah, you can watch it at your house, but you're not going to get the full experience of going into the theater.
And and I agree with you as somebody who loves the theater experience, but at the end of the day, even when we come out of quarantine, it's not like snap your fingers, everything's back to normal. And they're not going to release the stay-at-home orders in all these states on a Thursday, and Friday everybody's going to be flooded back into theaters and everything's going to go back to normal. There's going to be a lot of hesitation. So you're going to see a loss of a lot of revenue and box office in these movies that are getting pushed to these times where we still may be coming out of quarantine slowly.
See, and for the movies you're a little bit more hesitant on, I could see them going straight to the streaming services. So like Artemis Fowl, that's not like...
That's a huge book, though. Everybody read that book as a child.
I didn't.
Well, whatever. But that's not the point. So it's a really well-known story.
But so is Mulan. And Mulan's even bigger because it's part of that Renaissance era that everyone loved. It's a story that a lot of people, they've already had stakes in, they've already had success with.
Yeah, but this is a movie that, especially, that movie was going to make money here. Don't get me wrong. Mulan was going to make a lot of money here. But they were really banking on the Chinese market. And if they release it here domestically in July and China isn't ready to go back yet, then what? Because that's where a lot of their money was going to come from. You got to remember, it's not just domestic where they make their money. Fast and the Furious doesn't make $1 billion here in the U.S. and North America. It makes $1 billion worldwide. Here it maybe makes $200 million. So that's where you got to weigh those. I don't know.
I think it's a risk you got to take for at least movies you're a little bit more sure of.
It's a weird time.
Unless you do the premium content, you will not make any money putting it on your streaming service. Those streaming services don't cost enough and you don't have enough subscribers.
Do we see an uptick in price then? Everybody's at home watching Netflix right now, and Disney Plus, and Hulu, and Amazon Prime. Do any of those companies really capitalize on that maybe and increase their price because people have to pay it if they want to watch it?
You gouge the market now, yeah, you might see an uptake, but as soon as quarantine is over, they're going to drop that so quickly because they don't want to pay that price.
Maybe.
Everything has a streaming service now. It's gouging everyone. And yeah, they're going to do it right now because that's pretty much their only option. But once quarantine is lifted, you have video rental stores that,
few
and far between, but they still exist. You have Redbox. You have places that they can go besides streaming services. I think you would be...
But again, streaming services are about the convenience of in the home without having to go out. If I have to pay $18 to have Netflix, but they're going to have big movies on there, I'm going to pay it. Because if I'm paying $12 for Netflix or $15 for Netflix anyway, and then I still have to go out and spend $4 or $5 on a movie, but if Netflix has that movie, that's what I'm saying. I don't know, because this might be, as sad as it is to say, this might be the beginning of the end of theaters, of movie theaters just in general, as you can't put a movie in theaters right now, but you can put them on a streaming service and charge people for it. Put a movie on Amazon Prime, charge $25, $30 for it. Families are going to pay that and watch it, and then you're basically getting the same amount of money you would if 3 people went to the theater to see your movie. So, I don't know. It's a weird time. I'm just surprised by some of these moves. Wonder Woman, I don't think moved back far enough. I think some of those other movies, like Ghostbusters and Fast and Furious 9, they moved a little too far.
Yeah.
So... it's going to be an interesting time. I feel like we're going to be a little crowded in the marketplace for a while, and I'm not sure the theatrical experience is going to get back to normal for at least another year or two.
At least a year, yeah.
So, I don't know. I'm interested to see where it's all going to go. I'm going to follow these stories as they come out. Hopefully, we're going to have more news programs for you guys where we discuss things like this. Again, like, comment, share, subscribe, all that stuff. Click that little bell icon to be notified when we come out with new videos. We're going to have more news for you guys as things come up and more movie reviews on our other videos and stuff. So stay tuned. See you guys soon. Bye.
Bye.